I want to share a story with you today about how a girl without a chair found a seed. Some people grow up asking, what do I want to be? I grew up asking, will there be a chair for me? Now I want you to imagine this. You're 13 years old. The school bell rings. You grab your books and you start running. Not because you're late, not because you're excited, but because if you weren't one of the first to reach the classroom, there won't be a chair left for you. Lose that race, and you're left standing. Books in your hands, legs burning, pretending you're fine. It wasn't education. It wasn't inclusion. That was survival, dressed up as opportunity. That was my childhood. It taught me something long before any textbooks could. It taught me to compete for crumbs and call it privilege. It made me feel small, smaller than my dreams, smaller than the space I took up. And I wasn't alone. Research shows that in South Africa, there are more than 50 learners per classroom for one teacher. I was actually a bit underwhelmed because we were 55, but it's fine. Picture that, an overcrowded classroom, where even the space to think is something you have to fight for. And let me tell you where that all occurred. I grew up in nuclear Johannesburg, a place the world forgot, a community marginalized long before I was even born, where the promises of those in power come and go, but the potholes remain. Where even today, clean water isn't guaranteed. Now tell me, have you ever felt small in a room that wasn't built for you? That's how I felt. I felt like the world was not built for me. And I said, enough. I made a decision through serious difficulty and odds that I was going to better my future. I was not going to allow that classroom to determine my future. But the economy said no. Okay. Through many no admission, and my favorite, no funding. I applied for 10 years, close to 10 years, just to study at university. After rejection, many nights asking myself, am I good enough? Eventually, I walked through the gates of University of Johannesburg. Older, I was no spring chicken, out of practice, but determined, not as someone lucky to be there, but as a woman determined to claim her place. It was a stark contrast from where I came from. There was Wi-Fi, there was libraries, there were support services, everything I could ever dream of. But something felt off. Because a seat isn't the same as belonging, and belonging isn't the same as power. I had the same tools as everyone else, but not the same starting point. So while others were debating theories I'd never heard about, I was still trying to figure out how to log into the system. That's not just a gap. In Afrikaans, dit was 'n groot gat. A massive hole I had to climb out of. And I climbed. I passed my degree with 23 distinctions, honors cum laude. I'm not done. And today, I stand here as one of the very few women of color in Africa completing a master's in artificial intelligence ethics. That isn't just a line on a CV. That is refusing to stay small. And I want you to think about this. This is my idea I want to share with you tonight. Presence is not progress. It is what happens in the room and how you shape it that determines success. In business, we often hear this term, a seat at the table. Have you heard it? Yeah. Common, eh? It means some level of rank. Yes, I've achieved, I've made it to the table. But who decided what the table must look like? Today, on a global scale, we are still playing a game of musical chairs. In artificial intelligence, the fastest, the most connected, they grab the seats first. They choose the rules. They choose who gets served and who's left standing. And what does it say about our future if we decide and follow the rules of someone else? It says that the future is written without us. And that ends now. I want you to think about 3 ways in which you can implement what I call AI seeds. Conversation starters to have at your dinner table, in your boardrooms, in your classrooms, so that we can shape the future of AI and make it ours. And it's a 3 Ds: design, develop, and deploy. Design for capability. Number 1, don't just hand out digital tools. Teach digital literacy skills, critical thinking. Because when people learn to reason with machines, they don't just become passive consumers, they become content creators. Question AI. Teach your students, have conversations for them to question, critique, analyze, challenge AI. The second seed, and I use these analogies of seeds for growth, for mental benchmarks, for you to always carry in your mind, in the way you go about your life, to remember that we are working with a purpose here. Develop with ownership. Now, this one is important. It's powerful. Communities must own, develop, design, and govern the data that's being used. They must decide what data is used, for what purposes, and what outcomes truly matter. They should start thinking about mantras of ownership, such as no data about us without us. Have that ownership, and it has been proven to significantly improve ownership mindset and vision. And the last one, deploy systems that reflect us. AI that speaks our languages, Afrikaans, Setswana, isiZulu. I'm so tired of looking at my ChatGPT asking me the question, do you comprehend? Comprehend what? What? Speak to me my language. Speak to me so we can be on the same level. Ask me, verstaan jy my bro? Ek verstaan. In Afrikaans means I understand. Yeah, now we are collaborating. Now I am not being dictated by your rules. You are meeting me where I am and we are working together. And that is what I mean when we deploy with systems that describe our classroom, how we speak, our accent. Think about that child. If she had somebody or she had a system that spoke to her in her language, the level of understanding could have saved her 10 years because I took 10 years to come here. Can we cut off some time here? But yes, we are not waiting for an invitation to the digital age. We are taking it and we are making it ours. We are building it for the student who walks into university for the first time, staring at buildings that are taller than they've ever seen, wondering if they belong. We are building it for the child still running for a chair. We are building it for the woman who was told that she's not enough. Because access is not power, and crumbs are not dignity. We deserve more, we are capable more, and we are going to build more. Because Africa doesn't just belong in the future of AI. Africa is the future of AI.